everybody. I'm Cody Cowell. I'm an actor. I'm here with Keith Andrew and his Keith Andrew Network podcast show. Very excited to be here, and I've been looking forward to having a good conversation with him coming up. So, all of you that are watching, I hope you enjoy what he asks me, and hopefully you could learn something from either of us that might help you personally or professionally with your passions or goals that you're trying to achieve. And I just say that no matter what happens, always continue to charge forward. You're going to have ups and downs and you're going to have falls. But when you get back up and continue moving yourself forward, it's only going to get better and better. So no matter what, ups and downs here and there, just keep on charging and always go with your heart.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the one and only Keith Andrew Network. This is episode 1037. That is right, 1037. You get to see and rewatch some of the best, some of the decent, some of the okay episodes. But the point is, by being a guest on my show, you support people with disabilities. Now, I have two shows. I have a show A, where if you're watching, it will start off with the speech. In show B, it's kind of like a blue show without the speech. So with that being said, I will tell you guys, because there's got to be show B, what is the Keith Andrew Network? Whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities to never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. So prove to them it's them out to something. That being said, show A is the red show. I'm a big wrestling fan. So my show A is about a red theme. Show B is a blue theme. Now, if you're a wrestling fan, red's for Monday Night Raw, blue is for SmackDown. But that's not about me. This is about you. So I'm going to ask you 15 hard-hitting questions, and it's all about acting. So the first one I'll ask you is number 15. What are you working on right now?
Right now, I am not working on anything because of the strike.
No, absolutely. And actually, you bring up a good point. What can you tell us about the writer's strike, and how is that impacting your career?
I really do not know much about the strike other than from what people have told me that it has an effect with the new AI, which is taking over a lot, and the pay scale for the time they're putting in. Beyond that, I really don't know much. How it's affecting me is that I'm using it to basically make more connections and helping the productions that I am involved with move further along. So when everything is officially done, we're ready to go. So we're basically maximizing this downtime with being really busy. It's a different kind of work. It's all the stuff that no one ever sees behind the camera before pre-production, getting everything set and ready. And I'm happy that I can help. And to me, it's a good way to keep myself positive and focused to continue my career.
No, I agree with you. With that being said, it's the AI. It's you look at everything with a grain of salt. You look at everything with a positive and a negative. You look at my parents' generation in early 90s, they didn't know what a computer was. They didn't think it was beneficial. But AI is pretty much like a computer and technology. It depends on how you use it. If you abuse it, it's gonna backfire in your face. Now, for me, I'm happy I don't have writers on my show, because I do have writers on the show, but not writing the questions, because I like, what would you say, do the grunt work. I like doing the work myself. You watch all these shows like Bill Maher, Bill O'Reilly. Oh, we're gonna take hiatus. I don't take breaks. I do this 24/7. I write my
Right.
own questions. So it's great to have a team.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can have a writer's strike. And I'm
Right.
not putting my, it's uncensored, by the way. I'm not putting my shit on hold until you guys make a deal. I'm going to
Yeah.
do what I'm
Yeah.
capable of doing and say, hey, you know what? I agree with the people on strike who should be paid equally. And actually, that brings up a question I'll ask recently, but I saw. Do you agree or disagree that if you go to auditions, you should be paid for your time? Do you agree with that?
No, no, because my route with this business is very different than most people. Um, I've gotten everything on my own. I've never gotten a job through representation, so I do everything on my own. And it's kind of like what you said about how you're really busy, but you have a team.
Yeah.
I'm really big about teamwork, and I believe that you have to earn to get paid. And you can audition 100 times, and that 100 times shows your dedication. So when you get that role eventually and you get paid, you've put in the time, you've earned it, you've increased your confidence, you've gotten your craft down better. So no, I feel that everything has to be earned, and the audition process is part of the earning process.
I agree with you 100%. And the other one I want to go back to the AI real fast. It's
Mhm.
fine if for if for shits and giggles you want to make a picture
Yeah,
that's 80s and 90s or tripping or that's really groovy, whatever catchphrase you want to use. It's okay, but doing a writing, don't you have to read it? Don't you have to tweak it? So you're still going to have writers. It doesn't matter if the
yeah,
computer writes it for you. You need to have a production assistant or whoever assistant read it and change it.
yeah,
So, for an example, if I have an index card and if I look at the questions by AI and I never read it, there's going to
mhm,
be some spelling errors or this question would have sound better in a different way. I'll give you an example. Next question I was going to ask you is because you are an actor, what is difficult about being an actor? But if you had AI do it, it would be kind of like, okay, yes, it's a question, but it doesn't seem real because all my
mhm.
questions I ask is 100% generic. If you have a computer doing your work, it's kind of like, why am I even here? Because you can have the machine interview you,
Mhm.
if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. It's all about perspective. I feel that the passion that goes into writing definitely shows with the acting. And I've talked to people that have done and used AI, and they were shocked how accurate it is. But the difference is like what you said, is that they enjoy the process. They want to continue the process. And sure, they said, if I'm ever just brain dead and just out of it, I might do it to help me fill in the blanks. But they said it is incredible, but they won't use it because they like the writing. They want to take the time and do it because it's just part of their job. It's part of their passion, and that's what they want to keep is the passion. They don't want it to just be here's a button. There you go. Here's a button. They want to get themselves in there and let their mind go and come up with different ideas because also AI is just a bunch of facts really that are put together accurately. But there's a lot of things that slip through the cracks that you wouldn't understand unless you were really doing it on your own. So there's a time and a place.
So I agree. So next one I would ask you is what are some of the roles that you like to have?
Ah, okay. I'm still waiting on I say knight in shining armor because that's what comes to me, like Excalibur, medieval times. I'm still waiting for that role to come my way. I would love to do a type of role where they have to completely fit my body frame with the actual chain mail and metal and hinges. and have to take sword lessons, riding lessons on how to ride with the armor and how to use your sword, and that would be incredible. I definitely love Westerns, and I've done some smaller Western projects that I really enjoyed. But yeah, I'm waiting for my big feature Western. Those would be my top two, would be definitely medieval times and a Western.
These two are really easy and really short. Usually I ask one question at a time, but like I said, these are really short. So number 12, how do you handle stress and pressure? And what is your biggest failure? And what did you learn from it?
So yeah, the stress and pressure. I try to stay active every day, either going to the gym or doing some type of exercising. I work every morning. So there's two kinds of work when it comes to acting: getting the audition, having meetings. And then the second work is when it's time to get into pre-production and you start preparing for the role. So by working every morning and doing what I do, that helps. And then doing some type of physical activity balances me out. I eat really well. I take supplements, and that helps me also balance my emotions out. Rejection, it was rough. It happened earlier in my career when I got cast in a film, and then when it came down to it, they dropped me for a bigger name. And I'd done the trailer, and fully was preparing for almost a month straight, getting the script down, and then I found out that they dropped me. So that was a big hit. And so I learned that it's not personal. It's business. And even though that's a very disrespectful way of doing it, that there are people in the business that are like that. I've had, not many, but I've had enough that have given me appreciation for the people that are I'm working with, that are part of my team, that are loyal and stay true to their word. So yeah, that's it.
No, it's great to have a backbone. You can't take everything personally.
Yeah.
For me, I walk around with my emotions on my sleeve, and I
Yeah.
try to have a good poker face. But it's kind of like you walk into a situation, and you usually can just sense it out. You can feel the energy in the air. And like usually, when I go to work in retail, I go to the store, and not to say I scout it out, but I
Yeah.
go in, I look around, and I'm like, okay, this feels nice. It has a nice atmosphere. Because I've been in situations where I will just jump right into it, and
Yeah.
I don't know a damn thing about it. So if
Yeah.
I can write a book about doing things half-assed and setting myself up for failure, I've been there, done that, and
Yeah.
it's a learning process.
Yeah. But that's also that I feel all of those different experiences and then being able to move forward, which is not easy, but you do it. It's what makes us. It's really makes us who we are.
Funny example. It's like I was looking for a job, and like, oh, well, let's work at Yankee Candle. Well, how
Yeah.
hard is selling candles? Well, some of the questions are stupid. I mean, oh, what are the ingredients? It's a candle. You're not eating the damn thing. Why you want to know the ingredients?
Right.
But if you're interested, not to tell you the ingredients, candles with multiple wicks, you get a couple hours. So if he has 3 wicks in it, a couple hours, 2 wicks, I am a day or so, a
Hmm.
wick, you get like a month out of it. So
Really?
it,
Wow.
the more powerful it is, it's like, yeah, this is really great
Yeah.
if you get it with 3 wicks, but you won't last long. But if you really want to mess with someone who's very jumpy, there's a candle called wood fire, and it
Okay.
crackles and pops.
No
So
way.
don't
That's cool.
don't so just rip off the label. It's like, hey, I got you this
Yeah.
candle. And so as to reading it, and like, what was that?
Yeah.
I try to have fun with everyone.
Yeah. That's cool.
So the other question I want to ask you is, with everything that you accomplished in your career, what are you most likely to become famous for?
Um, on I guess on an acting level, the only thing that comes to mind, of course, is getting a role that's just spectacular. You know, that role that's iconic, that just solidifies you in the acting world and you nail it. So that's what I would think. But beyond that, I like to come on board and in front of the camera and behind the camera. I want to be one of the most respected actors out there. So beyond the acting role, that's what I would hope for, is that when someone talked about me as an actor and as a person, that there's a lot of respect behind their words.
I agree. Now, the next one I want to ask, well, I want to ask you a couple hard hitting ones. Was everything that you accomplished in your career, besides me, obviously, have you worked with people with disabilities? And for people who have disabilities want to follow in your footsteps, what are the words of wisdom and or some advice you would give them?
I would definitely say take your time. Decisions. Sometimes that happens because you might get something that sounds really good, but time will always show someone's true colors, and that goes into people you work with, into your representation. So that would be probably the biggest one, is take your time, allow things to happen. And the number one thing that I've learned in my career is always stay true to yourself.
No, absolutely. Don't ever try, for I give you an example. Yes, I'm wearing sunglasses. I think I look cool, and I'm a big wrestling fan. So I try to put this image on. It's like, oh, I can be the white Rock, or I can be John
Yeah,
Cena, or I can have the persona of The Miz, or
yeah,
anyone like that in the entertainment world. But at the same time, I dress professionally, I speak professionally, even though I have diarrhea of the mouth. So I try to do a combination of the two. It's like, yes, I can give you the news, I can ask the questions professionally, but at the same time, you just have the I don't give a shit attitude. Just sit back, relax. You're
yeah,
having a good time. I'm having a good time. Because if you pretend to be something but you're not,
yeah,
people can see that right through. And what The Rock said, you can
yeah,
come out, be a character, and if you don't have the audience, and if you're not, well, he didn't say about man to it. He said if
yeah,
you don't believe in it and the audience doesn't believe in it, then you're gonna see right through it, and you're gonna set up for failure.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's we've all seen projects with really good actors that are horrible. And you know that whatever they did it for was the wrong reason. So, you know, and with what you said, which I agree with, the also crazy thing is people will see you not being yourself, and you'll also attract people in the business that are that way too. So it's like a double whammy. You're going to come in being a way that you think you have to be to impress somebody, and then you're going to be attracting somebody that's nothing like who they really should be. So, like, boundaries are really big. Like you, I'm a no bullshit guy. And I say it how it is. I tell people, if you ask me a question, you better be open to hearing an answer that you might not like. And that doesn't mean I disagree that it's wrong. It just might not go with me. And so I'm very blunt about everything that I do, because that is what I want people to know, that when you hire me, that's who you're going to get in front and behind the camera. And I'm going to tell you how it is, respectfully, because like, as
Yeah,
you get to know somebody, you might be a little more choosy with your words because you respect them and you don't want to overstep your boundaries. But you got to break the ice and just be you, and you'll find out and attract like-minded people like yourself.
yeah. You actually reminded me of a funny story. I need to be Jared, and a lot of people, especially I'm the youngest out of four brothers and one sister. One of my brothers is like, "Oh, Jarrett left WWF because Owen Hart passed away." And I said to him, "There's a lot of rumors of why you left the WWF in '99, and one of them is that my brother thinks that you left because you were upset that Owen passed away. You know Owen Hart, obviously, right?
Familiar.
Owen Hart fell from the ceiling in a tragic accident, and
Hmm.
people think that Jared just got up and left. And he said it wasn't a video interview, it was an audio. And he said, you know what? I've been alive for how many years? I've been in this business for so many years. You are the first person to ever ask a question like that.
Hmm.
And I'm like, well, glad to be the first.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the same thing with wrestlers on my show. I don't act okay. I ask five wrestling questions, but I talk to you like a normal human being.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wrestling
That's how it should
fan.
be.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I said that's how it should be.
No, and
Just be
you're
you. Just talk to them because they'll be more comfortable and they'll be more relaxed and talk to you more naturally too as well.
no, you're right. And a hashtag, you're right. I said that right. I have two hashtags. Hashtag absolutely. And I should make the other one into a hashtag, but it doesn't make a difference. But
Yeah.
with the last 6 minutes, I'm going to pass it over to you. Was
Yep.
there anything you want to talk about? Anything you want to promote? You can ask me anything. I have no cards up my sleeve.
Yeah. What brought you into doing podcasts and interviews?
Oh, this is a good question. Trying to find the answer because I was asked so many times. Um, I used my dad for an inspiration. I used my brother for an inspiration. And for the longest time, I was using my disability as a crutch. I call it the boomerang. You throw it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't have to do this. I don't have to do that. People will feel sorry for me. Things will be handed to me. But
Yeah.
when the boomerang comes back and hits you upside the head, you realize you labeled yourself as an influence. It's not in a good way, saying,
Yeah.
"Oh, you expect people just to give it to you. Oh, you're disabled. Oh, here you go." No, if you want something, get off your ass,
Yeah.
work hard, and say, "Yes, I may be on the spectrum of being retarded because I read and learn at a slower level." But look at what I was able to create and
Hmm.
accomplish for 10 and a half years. And thanks to
Yeah.
you supporting my message, 1,000, officially 1,037 episodes.
Well,
I met a lot of,
congratulations.
well, thank you. I met a lot of great people, met a lot of people like, they're all right. Or some people
Yeah.
like, yeah, once was enough. It's like, well, I'm glad I had that effect on you. But
Well, I feel that um so like our messaging prior to us doing this video, you're very straightforward. And I feel a lot of people aren't used to that. I am like you that way, where I've had experiences where I've spoken to people, I've messaged people, and just straight to the point. And they could not, they were so thrown by that because they're used to people skirting and not really getting to the point and jumping around with questions and everything. And I'm like, no, I asked you a simple question. And then when they've asked me and I've answered them. And so I feel that how you do your interviews, I like it. I think it's really cool. But some people might get taken back by it because you're a no bullshit guy. You say it the way it is. You ask a question, and also what's important, which is what I try to do too, is that when it's time to talk, you allow me to talk, I allow you to talk.
no, you're right, and I think that's my Bill Maher side. Even though I do ask sarcastic questions, but I'm like, you watch the oldest shows, you watch Bill Maher, and I used to like Bill O'Reilly until I found out he was a fraud.
Okay.
So the joke was on Fox, and I don't watch Fox anymore since I found out about him. But he said, "Oh, Bill O'Reilly, 16 years and strong." Really? They pulled you off the air fast enough. So I guess the six
Yeah.
years, 16 years didn't mean a damn thing. But you watch so many shows, they give you 2 minutes to answer, and it's mostly the host accent, accent, accent. But as
Okay.
soon as you go to be like more in depth, they're like, oh, we have to take a commercial break. But you just asked me this interesting question, and as soon as you go to answer, like we need to take a break. And so it's for my
Yeah.
show. My show, it's a little bit of entertainment, news, supporting people with disabilities. But yes,
Yeah.
you have. That's why in the beginning I don't do my speech because it's usually in the introduction. That's why I give you all that time because this is about you. Is it a
Right.
little bit about me? It is, but you're here supporting me. That's enough
Mhm.
said. But the interview is just about hearing you, and plus you make a new friend out of it. So it's kind of
Yeah.
like it's not like a transaction where, okay, well, you had me on, I said what I wanted to, now here's the door. When I
Mhm.
tell people I extend my hand to you in friendship, I mean that because this is my way of interacting, building connections, and
Right.
showing you I'm not a BS kind of guy.
Yeah.
But it's well, the question I want to ask you, I usually do this off the air, but wrapping
Mhm.
up on our show, I want you to be brutally honest. When I first approached you to be a guest on my show, I know you
Mhm.
hinted towards this before, but I just want to ask you the official question. When I approached you to be a guest on my show, what made you say yes? How do you feel now? And would you recommend it?
Yeah. When you approached me, um, I like it. I feel that being able to be on a show where also a disability is a part of it, is just a great way to show the people outside of what most people stereotype that people are still people. And so I wanted to come on to have a conversation with you and show people also that you're a good guy and you're straight to the point and you might have a disability, no big deal. And that you're also doing a lot for yourself and for your profession, which is great. And also helping people maybe who are going to watch this at some point and go, well, maybe I can inspire to do something, whether it's this or whatever their passion is, because that's what it comes down to is passion. And you're doing it clearly because you're passionate about it. And so other people are going to see that and feel that passion. And hopefully will spark them to try something that maybe they didn't have the kick in the butt for, and you kicked them in the butt, you know? So I think it's great. And yeah, I definitely would refer you out 100% because the questions that you asked also I really like because when I do a show like this, um, it's not just about talking about what I'm doing coming up. It's asking questions that I can answer that might help someone else in the business or in something else because you can take whatever you want from it in whatever profession or personally for that matter. So you asked very clear questions, which is great that I was able to answer. And hopefully someone watching this will be able to watch it and go, wow, I've learned some things that I didn't quite realize. And I like that.
No, I agree. Now, I do have a couple questions for you off the air, but wrapping up, it was a real honor and privilege having you as a guest. And for our listeners, for us to do a part two, our goal is to reach 100 and more views. This will be shared on all social media. So watch, like, share, comment, and until we meet again, catch you later. Thank you and have a good night.